Hello, welcome to Movies Explained. Today we are going to take a look at a psychological thriller titled Secret Obsession. If you haven't watched the movie yet, watch this video at your own discretion. Spoilers ahead. On a rainy night, a girl named Jennifer is chased by a dangerous man with a knife, as she tries to flee from him. She gets into her car and tries to drive away, but sees that her car is connected to another vehicle through a winch. She runs away and gets hit by a car, leaving her injured and unconscious. She is taken to a hospital, and there, she has flashbacks of the man who was trying to attack her. As she is taken in for treatment, we see a man enter the hospital. He is Russell Williams, and he introduces himself as Jennifer's husband. Next, we see Detective Frank Page questioning Russell about Jennifer's accident. Russell explains that his wife went out to get groceries that night. He is then taken to meet Jennifer after her surgery. But the doctor informs him that Jennifer woke up with amnesia, recalling nothing about the incident or her life prior. When he meets Jennifer, she doesn't remember anything about him or even the accident. At the police station, the detective questions the guy who hit Jennifer and asks if he saw anyone else in the vicinity that night. He explains that there was a white pickup truck that was pulling another car with a winch. It had disappeared when the ambulance arrived. Page is sure that someone was there that night and that it was not just a road accident. Back at the hospital, Russell shows Jennifer photos of her life to help her remember everything. Jennifer wants to know if her parents called to check on her, and Russell says that her parents had died in a fire 2 years ago. Jennifer slowly recovers from her injuries, going through rehab with Russell's help. Then she is finally able to check out from the hospital. When she is given a document to sign, she can't seem to remember how to sign her name, and when she does, it feels strange. In the car, she has a flashback of herself looking at the rearview mirror the night the accident took place. She's starting to remember things from that night. Russell drives her to their secluded home. At the house, Jennifer spots wedding photos of her and Russell. Russell gives her a tour of the house, and near the fireplace in the living room, Jennifer has another flashback. She remembers a hooded man with a knife. As Russell takes Jennifer around the house in her wheelchair, she learns that the nearest neighbors are a mile away from them. He takes her to their room upstairs for her to rest. Then, he gets a call from Detective Page, which Jennifer overhears. Page informs him that they haven't found Jennifer's car that's missing, but there is a witness who remembers the plates of the white pickup truck. Page ends the call by saying he wants to talk to Jennifer the next day. During dinner, Jennifer asks Russell what's happening tomorrow, and he lies to her, saying it was a work call. Then she asks him if the company she works for is worried about her. Russell says that she quit her job after marrying and moving out here. Upset about having no parents or a job, she wonders about her friends. Russell goes on to say that she is not too close with any of her friends. Jennifer realizes that her phone is missing, and Russell promises to buy her a new phone as soon as possible. Later that night, Russell visits the witness of the accident, who happens to remember the plates of the white pickup truck. He ends up hitting the witness on his head and killing him. Russell drives back to the house and buries the dead man in their backyard. Jennifer wakes up hearing the noise and sees Russell doing something over there. In the morning, Jennifer spots a mound of dirt at the backyard, where Russell was last night. She becomes uneasy by Russell's suspicious behavior. Meanwhile, Detective Page is also suspicious of Russell because he did not drop by at the police station with Jennifer to talk about the case. So he tries to search for Russell's home address and finds out that Russell has no address in the area. Page instructs a police officer to trace Russell's phone, and he goes to the hospital. He gets Russell's home address from the nurse. When Page goes to that address, he finds out that it is not Russell's house. The people living there don't even know a person named Russell Williams. Detective Page grows more suspicious of Russell. Jennifer looks at her photo albums when she realizes something. Russell seems to be photoshopped in every picture. With difficulty, she manages to go downstairs to take a look at her wedding photo. She notices the same Photoshop effect on the wedding photo. She tries to log into Russell's computer, but it doesn't work. Russell comes back home and gives Jennifer a phone. But it doesn't have any service. That night, Russell tries to get intimate with Jennifer on bed, But Jennifer has another flashback about the scary guy with the knife near the fireplace. When Jennifer is settled, Russell goes to his study and spies on her through a hidden camera. Detective Page calls the hospital and asks to see the CCTV footage from the night Jennifer was brought in. He asks the nurse how Russell confirmed his identity as Jennifer's husband. The nurse says that he showed her their photos, and mentioned about a tattoo on Jennifer's back, one that looks like a stylish letter A. When Page looks at the footage, he not only sees the white pickup truck, but he also sees Russell getting out of the pickup truck. Later, the detective talks to a tattoo artist about Jennifer's tattoo. The tattoo artist recognizes it as a heritage tattoo referring to the family name, Allen. The detective enters Jennifer Allen in the database and finds her parents' home address. When he gets there, the place is abandoned. However, the detective finds the rotting bodies of Jennifer's parents. Russell leaves the house to buy groceries and locks the door behind him. Then, Jennifer manages to find her old ID with her maiden name, Jennifer Allen. Upon further investigation, Page learns that the man he met is not Jennifer's husband, but a person named Ryan Garrity, a coworker of Jennifer and Russell, her real husband. Meanwhile, Jennifer somehow logs into the computer and finds the real photos that were photoshopped. Jennifer's memory of what happened at the night of the accident returns. She realizes that the man with the knife was Ryan. As there is no Wi-Fi in the house, she has no way of contacting anyone to let them know that she is in danger. After seeing Jennifer at the backyard, Ryan hits her in the head and she falls unconscious. He carries her to the room and ties her up to the bed. Then, he leaves the house. Jennifer unties herself and manages to escape while Ryan is on his way back home. She goes into the car at the garage and finds her old phone. When Ryan comes home, Jennifer sneaks her way back into the room, hiding her phone just before Ryan comes in. Later, Detective Page comes to the house and finds the white pickup truck. As Jennifer comes downstairs to ask for help, Ryan knocks Page out and locks Jennifer up in her room. It is revealed that Ryan is a stalker with a crush, and he has been studying Jennifer for a long time, ever since they worked together. Ryan had killed her parents and her husband. He was going to kill Jennifer as well, but since she lost her memory, he figured that he could have her now, all to himself. That was his secret obsession. Jennifer burns through her bindings and escapes into the woods, trying to call someone from her old phone. But Ryan is after her armed with a gun. Just then, Page appears and gets into a brawl with Ryan, to try and disarm him. As soon as Page disarms him, Jennifer picks up the gun and shoots Ryan, killing him on the spot. The story ends after Jennifer is seen reading a letter from her late husband, 3 months after the incident. As she drives, Russell's voice narrates the note, telling her how much he loves her. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more awesome movie recaps. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.